Mike, real quick before we move on.
What?
A little bit of, actually 2 bits of news. One, from Penn State. We just finished talking about the
James Franklin's fired.
No.
Damn it.
But both running backs are coming back for another season.
Great. Super.
So
maybe they'll complete a pass to a wide receiver next season. And what else?
And the Japanese pitcher,
Sasaki.
he has crossed the Yankees off the list.
Doesn't surprise me.
So.
I've crossed the Yankees off the list.
Okay.
All right. So, by the way, Rams have no shot to win tonight now. Did you just see Stafford?
No.
He looks 1,000. That beard is terrible. Can't win that way.
Because he's got to, he had to travel. He's worried about everything going on.
Awful lot of things coming down to hairstyle here. We got gingers. We got people with bad beards.
You're noticing that, right?
It's a trend.
It's all about the hairstyle with Mike.
No, listen, I'm just telling you, you can't win with a ginger. So look,
He'll dye before the game.
let's discuss this because I'm not going to sit here and do 4 hours of Lions today when they don't play for 5 days, and they didn't play this past weekend. We just gave you an hour. You wanted Odyssey.com rewind. I want to talk about the Red Wings. And at what point, Kenny, once again, with the suggestive hand motions, please. At what point does a new coach bump become a new coach eruption? 7 in a row. They blast the Kraken. Now, here's your problem. They're still not in the playoffs. They still have a long road to go. They are still a long shot to do it. But 7 in a row, and you go, okay, wait a minute. Who do I get to blame here? And you go, whoa, wait a minute, funny man. What do you mean? Who are you blaming for a 7-game win streak? No.
You should be happy.
I want to know who I get to blame for why it's happening. Meaning, why did Yzerman wait this long to pull the ripcord on Lalone? But then there's the other question. Am I supposed to believe Lalone is that bad of a coach and the players get off scot-free? Or do I get to blame the players a little bit? Think about this. How could you be that bad? And now all of a sudden you're like you ate the magic mushroom in Super Mario Brothers, or what is it, the star. The Red Wings have been playing like they got the magic star. So you start to go, well, wait a minute. Did they just kind of like quiet quit on Lalone? So yes. I wanted to bring in our Perry Mason and have him weigh in.
You know what, Kenny? Before, if I may, I'm just taking classes to be in the hockey elite. So first year. So Kenny's my professor. Be curious. But I see it as, especially in the NHL, that they hold on to coaches for so long that it is a quiet quit. Your message is no longer in the locker room, and by the time they leave, you're so happy this guy is gone that the next guy walks in there and he's not your old coach. So you're excited to come to work, you're excited to go out on the ice, and you win. And I think that for the players, a lot of players. That's why you see the new coach bump all the time, because I think they hold on to coaches way too long.
So then I get to blame Yzerman.
And that's where I think the blame goes.
Kenny's nodding his head. Okay, hold on. Now we're getting somewhere. Kenneth.
No, I think it was, I think it can be a little bit of column A, column B, but when I look at it, I'm like, all right, Steve Yzerman could have fired him in the offseason. We could have started fresh with a McClellan or anybody else that you wanted to hire. And I think what happens in the NHL specifically is GMs become very bullish on their guy. I picked this guy, and if I fire this guy, that means I was wrong. And a lot of GMs are very hesitant to do something like that because it's an admission of guilt. And I think that may have been a part of it. I also think that the players deserve a lot of this blame because, holy Christmas, have you seen the difference between what they were and what they are now?
That's why I said what I said. Why are the players getting off scot-free?
Up until the Kraken game, they have outshot everybody since McClellan came into power. Meaning, for 6 straight games, they were not outshot by anybody.
So how much of it is systemic?
I think a lot of it comes back to the head coach, though. I think a lot of it does. Because with Lalone, the effort wasn't there. The offensive, the get to the front of the net wasn't there. It simply
But that's
was not.
where I blame the players. You are paid to play a children's game.
Right, and that's why I say column A, column B. Because A, column A, Steve, buddy, do this during the offseason. We would be in a playoff spot right now had they done half of what they're doing now.
Yeah.
which is not what I said.
So here's my question. What is the live update on FanDuel, odds-wise, Wings to make the playoffs? Now, last week, this was like plus 600.
Right now, it is
Change.
plus 520.
So all of the winning.
Yep.
Look where they still got you. And again, that's based on the Eastern Conference being very deep, very difficult, and unlike the NBA, which is a complete joke of a league, players actually try generally.
And they're only 2 points out of the last wild card spot, which tells you exactly what Vegas thinks of the Red Wings.
And the problem is, a team like the Rangers that's 1 point behind you, the thought process is they're too talented to end up like this. I don't know, man, but I wondered if the Hockey Elite wanted to participate. It's simple to me. 7-game win streak. I mean, they got a long road to go, but it leaves you the question of, why did Yzerman wait so long? And how much blame does he incur? And honestly, is it okay to be upset at the players? I mean, give me a break, Rico. Like openly saying, not you, I'm saying, oh, we don't love our coach, so wah. And it's like now they're killing people.
Like, look at Patrick Kane, for example. This is a guy, a veteran presence in the locker room, a guy who's won everything there is to win in the NHL, right? This is a guy who you would think maybe the effort would be there for a guy like this. And then you look at a guy like Dylan Larkin, who's supposed to be your
captain,
your emotional leader, and that just hasn't been around. And you change the head coach, you change the message, you change the voice. That's fine. I just don't see why it's so night and day from what it was before.
And I wanted to ask why. Could anyone in the hockey community tell us why? Why is it so different?
Yeah, I just think that it's the players tune out the coach and they just don't listen. And yes, I do think that it's
You just described them like they're third graders. They tuned out the substitute teacher and they don't listen no more. Are you serious? And you think hardworking people are supposed to accept that?
Mike, you see it. It's not just hockey. You see it across the board where all of a sudden the interim coach comes in and the players just start playing better because.
But this 7 in a row, essentially 10% of your schedule? Rico.
Winning's contagious, man. And once you start winning, you start seeing like, you know what? We're not that bad. We're not what we. You know what? We can do this thing. And yeah, I think Yzerman waited so long because you had to. The second he fired Lalonde, it was going to start the clock. Because you don't get to hire 3 coaches.
Well, he can hire 7.
Okay.
Hey, man, you notice he ain't going nowhere.
General managers and athletic directors don't get to hire 3 coaches.
Yeah, you do when everybody had your pajamas as a kid. You know how this town works. Bro, you know this.
No.
You have grown-ass men who wear onesies of this guy. He'll get to hire 17 coaches. Don't worry.
I don't think so. I think this is it.
Over under 11.5.
11.5 coach? Oh, 11.5. I'm like, I'm going to take the under.
248-539-9797. Let's get the Hockey Elite involved. And again, I'm not asking people who don't pay attention to all of a sudden pay attention. This isn't us getting on a bully pulpit saying you need to be watching this team. Hey, if you like the Red Wings and you got an opinion, I'd love to hear it. Because what we're not going to do is put on sequin shirts and talk Lions by 50 for 4 straight hours.
No?
No, I'd just rather go play in traffic. They don't play till Saturday, Rico. What do you want from me?
Gotcha.
We just did an hour of football. Christ. David, hi. What do you got for me? Talk to me.
A lot of people are saying the Red Wings players did Yzerman's job for him, dogging it for the loan so he would get fired.
But
7 wins in a row.
You have to blame the players then. You don't get to not give effort. You don't get to say we don't like the new teacher, therefore I'm not going to do the homework. That wouldn't have worked in my household. My parents would have launched me out of a cannon. These guys are millionaires. Do your effing job. You mean to tell me? I mean, I'm sorry. I must have missed where Lalonde had everybody in a labor camp. It's hockey practice. The practices were 45 minutes.
No, but I don't think it's that they just tune them out. It's just you stop believing in your coach. So therefore, the effort is not there. Is that it is with a new coach. And you're like, okay, you know what? I'm going to try a little harder. Mike, yes, it sounds bad, but it's human nature. When it's somebody that you like, you work a little harder than you do somebody that you really don't care for.
The jokes
you do
write
your
themselves.
job.
I could make such a good joke, but it's Monday, and it's too early in the week to get in trouble.
That's just me.
No, it's off the air. I got something good for you. Oh, it was about another show. So listen, let's
yes, but when you I mean, you see it in sports all the time. you know what? The backup QB comes in, and all of a sudden the receivers work a little harder.
The
Why?
O-line starts blocking.
Right.
I can't stand it. It drives me insane.
But it's human nature, and I think that that's what you're seeing with this team is, yeah, you know what? We liked him, but wow, we like this guy.
The sad part is they're still up against it because they waited so long. They waited, 36 games to pull the plug? Think about if they had just done this 5 games sooner, 7 games sooner. They waited so long.
Or just at the end of the season last year.
No, that's a dream state. I'm with you. But I'm trying to be fair. This guy could have been gone at any point.
Correct. It could have been a different path because right now we're coming from the very bottom of the East when we didn't have to. We could have been in that rotator of now we're the AFC, now we're the second wild card. Instead, we have to fight.
But see, gentlemen, and I think that's where Steve Eisman walked over to the glass and said, I got to break this. All right, you're fired. Let's do it over the holiday.
The problem I have is when general managers, and I don't care if it's in this town, somewhere else, Eiserman or not, you have to be proactive, not reactive. I get so sick of everything in this town being reactive.
Because nobody likes to be wrong.
Well, too bad. You're paid too much money to have that type of ego.
Understand,
but that's job.
But that's how you got your ego. It's the trust me, I know what I'm doing.
No, you got the ego because grown men walk around bricked up because you are the GM.
And you know what? And this could be, maybe I'm out in left field. I think also he was allowed a little extra time because the Lions got good and the focus was more on them than on the Wings.
How effing pathetic. I mean, that you know what that is? If that's the case, that is the Corey Ballantyne of sports opinions, a.k.a. the guy Dallas Goedert punched 3 times in the face on his way to the end zone yesterday. You've got to be kidding me. Oh, the Lions are running cover for us?
It took a little bit of pressure off of him.
Sweet Jesus.
Okay, honestly,
I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the situation.
Right, it's like nobody was upset about the Pistons. Why? Because the Lions were winning. The Lions were winning, and it covered everything.
This is because most people don't even know the Pistons exist.
I get what you're saying.
I know.
But it did. Yes, they did run a little bit of cover for them.
Listen, 7-game win streak is something else now. I mean, I'm not asking them to keep that going, but if they can somehow, in totality, stay hot, whatever your definition of hot is, stay hot through January. Give us 2 more weeks of just being hot as a firecracker. You're going to lose a game.
I'll say winning record. Yeah.
But just keep it going because then you get a little bit of a reset where you're like, all right, we got a 12-game stretch. We went 10-2. We got a 15-game stretch. We went 12-3. All of a sudden now you're outpacing you vomiting all over yourself the first 3 months of the year. But I couldn't help it. You check the scores and you're like, wow, they did it again. Mm-hmm. Wow, 4 goals on 6 shots. Why did they wait so long? The hockey elite have assembled. Look at this. I'm proud of these people.
See?
This is exciting. Come on. It's also proof different works.
Take him to church.
Sit here talking about a game that's not till Saturday.
Jaden Daniels.
Right, and fall asleep. We'll get to it. 248-539-9797.